Hey there, this is the author Andrew Snorton, and you're joining us for a special edition of the Fast 15 as fellow author Christopher Smith and I will go ahead and share selections from our audiobooks and more. So enjoy, share, and check it out. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this one back. We're going to go live. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. And it's preparing, and we're going to go live on the gram. Oh, heck, we are back in business. And then just go ahead and ping in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, good evening, y'all. This is the author, Andrew Snorton. First off, thank you so much for your patience. I had a tech issue, so it took about 25-30 minutes to get it squared away, but we finally got it squared away. Normally, as you know, we do the Fast 15 each Wednesday, a little bit after 1 o'clock, to go ahead and use that as our time, 15-20-minute time to pause, catch our breath, things along those lines. But tonight, we wanted to do something a little bit different and a little bit special. I see Q Blue joining us, so I need you to jump on as soon as you can. And Jen Renee Style, thank you so much. So tonight we're doing it a little bit differently. It's going to be a share, exchange, celebration of the audiobooks that we're doing. So in just a couple moments, for those of you that are joining me on Instagram at AuthorASnorton, we're going to have Chris pop on and jump on once he does that request, and we're going to make the magic happen as well as possible. So we are finally situated. I believe we are.
Yes.
And everything. So let's see. Yes, we got it. Good Lord have mercy. Chris, it is good to see you again, my brother. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, it is awesome to see you, man. I'm doing great. I'm feeling blessed, man. How are you?
You know what? Delays don't mean defeat. So that's my testimony for tonight. Delays don't mean defeat. What's up, A1 Joe? So tonight is going to be great because we're going to play a couple of selections from our current audiobooks. But before we do that, like we always do every time we do the Fast 15, we want to take a moment for folks that are tuning in that might be having a rough day, a rough week, a rough stretch, whether it's professional things that are going on, personal things going on. We want to say we hear you, we see you, we acknowledge you. You have every right to feel some type of way, but you have a bigger right to make sure you don't stay stuck in those situations. If whatever you're dealing with calls for you to get professional assistance, informal assistance, whatever, we want you to know there are people out here, regardless of what you think, there are people out here that care, that want to see you do better and you be, the best you can. So if that applies to you, we also hope tonight the tracks that you're going to hear keep you motivated, encouraged, and inspired. On the flip side, for folks that are doing well, we tip our cap to you, whatever, professional success, personal success, community, family, keep it going. Small or big, victories are victories. And tonight, we had a technology victory tonight.
Yes, we really
and
did.
The fact that we are doing what we're doing and knowing that these are things that are in place to help not only enrich us, but enrich y'all. So we definitely want to tip our caps to everybody. So tonight's going to be real simple. I'm going to start interviewing my guest straight out of Birmingham, my fellow frater of Phi Beta Sigma, not fraternity brother, but our frater. We kinfolk, we cousins, we kinfolk.
Cousins.
And we're going to start that direction. Then we're going to flip the script, and he's going to go ahead and pick a little, poke a little, and that type of thing. So again, I'm so excited to have Chris Smith join us. Brother Chris, how you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm feeling great, man. Like you said, we had those technical issues and everything. Like I said before, man, computers, they pick and choose when they decide to work. Sometimes they want to take PTO and just do their own thing. Hey, I come in when I come in. I work when I want to work. But hey, we finally got it up and working. You have plan B, plan C, but we reverted back to plan A. It's all good though. As long as you have those plans ahead of time, man, we good.
I tell you what, thank you so much. So before getting into your audio masterpiece, to me, any creative, that it is a masterpiece. Give our viewers a point of reference where you're based out of, and a couple of your other moving parts in addition to author and creative.
Okay, perfect, man. Well, first and foremost, like I said, man, I want to thank you, so much for allowing me to be, on this platform and allowing me to share who I am and allow me to get to know the true meaning of Trap Reflections Volume 1. So, first and foremost, I am Christopher Smith. Hey, what's up, Kiss? Keep kissing. But yeah, man, I'm the voice of the South, Chris Smith. I'm originally from Anniston, Alabama, right? So I moved to Birmingham, Alabama after I graduated from Jacksonville State University. Go Gamecocks. And I graduated with a bachelor's degree, bachelor's of arts in communications, concentration in broadcasting. I believe it's the Zoom, probably the Zoom feedback.
Probably, but we'll make it work.
But definitely cool. But yeah, man. After I graduated from Jacksonville State University, moved up here to Birmingham to start working at 98.7 Kiss FM as a radio personality. Make sure y'all check me out on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Giving y'all that smooth R&B and classic soul. Well, actually, today's R&B and classic soul. Let me get it right. But I'm smooth, so I have to add the smooth in there. So anyway, that's what I do. I like to, play different types of music to soothe people's soul and make them feel good and make them feel relaxed and comfortable, right? So, it's a blessing to be able to work at a radio station that embraces that smooth, sincere music that can calm you down and relax you. And when I listen to a lot of the older songs of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and how reassuring those songs were and how relaxing those songs were, I wanted to create something of my own caliber and be able to give it to the rest of the world and use my voice to heal the world. So that's the reason why I created Trap Reflections. I believe that I am a creative entity. And so creating Trap Reflections Volume 1 allowed me to be able to create something in a perfect time, such as the pandemic. 2020, we were all going through some things. It was tough for me. It was tough for my family members. It was tough for my friends. It was tough for everybody, right? Somehow, some way. So while I was listening to, different songs and different, the different audiobooks and things of that nature, I was saying to myself, how can I create this myself? How can I allow myself to be able to be a part of this? And one of the songs in particular that I was listening to that really told me that I can do this was Childish Gambino's Late Night in Kauai, featuring Jaden Smith. And the way Jaden Smith would talk on the poem and how he would, just be so soothing and so calm, and the instrumental in the back was so smooth and so different. It just made me feel like I was on a beach somewhere. And so I was listening. I was like, what if I do something like this? What if I create something as magical as what Jaden Smith and Childish Gambino has created? So I decided to sit down, say to myself, hey, I want to create a meditation album. I don't really know much about meditation. I don't really know too much about yoga poses and things of that nature, but I do know one thing. I know the importance of breathing. And so breathing and just reflecting and thinking about the inner self and how the inner self is what creates the world outside of me, that's something that I wanted to create. So Trap Reflections Volume 1 is an album that is very interactive. It allows people to inhale deeply, exhale deeply, reflect and learn. Figure out what it is that you are going through. Why are you going through it? It allows you to think about that. Why are you going through this? There's a reason why. Find the answer within those different tracks that I play for you. So that's the reason why I created Trap Reflections, because it's all about reflections. The target audience is ages 21 to 35. So from ages 21 to 35, that's a rather, young decade, young era, right? So I wanted to attract the younger audience and allow the younger audience to be able to find the importance of breathing, meditating, and relaxing. Because we got a lot of stuff going on. The older generation don't want to admit it, but we got a lot of stuff going on.
Well, I'll just speak for that older generation, and we know that if we have different things that are stressors, we know that y'all have stressors too. So we're going to preface and say there are some older generation people that don't get it. Right. Don't throw me in that category. So thank you.
Okay, good. Yeah, I didn't want to classify you as old anyway. You know what I'm saying? Man, but yeah, man. I definitely understand that, and this is for anyone to listen to, but it's more so gravitating towards the younger generation because of the trap, this culture where hip hop is like the #1 genre, and the sub-genre that everybody listens to is trap music, right? So you have trap beats, you have trap rappers, you have trap videos, or whatever you want to call them, right? So I wanted to title this album something that would attract the younger audience, which is why I decided to title it Trap Reflections Volume 1. So that's the main thing I got going on. And on top of that, I have my own media company. It's called Leo TV, which stands for Loyalty Equals Opportunity. And I interview artists or anyone who is loyal to their craft and loyal to who they are and has seen the opportunities that it has created for themselves. Now, Leo TV and Trap Reflections, they are both under my alter ego, Q Smitty. Yeah, for the most part, you know, that is the image that I'm looking at, you know, as far as giving off to the world and how I'm using my voice and making a better person in a better world.
Well, I tell you what, and even though this interference is trying to interfere, it's still we're focused on greatness right here. Let's go ahead and play a track and walk through with people what are the takeaways that you hope, what's at least like 1 or 2 takeaways that you hope when people listen to this particular track. And I think now that we got everything running, we can do the back and forth. So yes. let's go ahead and do the back and forth. So go ahead and introduce the track, a little bit of at least one takeaway you want people to have. Let's play it, and then you're gonna run and ask me my first set. So go ahead.
Okay, that's perfect, man. So this first track that I want to play, this is called Beauty Rest, right? Beauty Rest, and this is featuring the amazing Wisdom Bibbs. Shout out to him. He is on the instrumental. He produced it. He is the one who's playing the trumpet. And shout out to Dave Walker. He is actually the person who wrote this poem and allowed me to be the voice of this poem. And so the main thing that I want everybody to take from this, after you've had a long, stressful day, or even if you had a great day, continue to reflect and bask into that greatness and tell yourself that you are beautiful inside and out. So and beautiful people, it is not even about physically beautiful, it's about mentally beautiful, emotionally beautiful. And so yeah, shout out to Soul Train, Don Cornelius.
Yeah, Rich Living Coach checking in from Houston, Texas. So he's doing some great things out there. Let's go ahead and run that first track.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm about to go ahead and run it right now. Hold on one second. Let's see here. Track Reflections. Yeah, can you hear it? Oh, you may not be able to hear it. Hold on one second. I got you.
No problem. Look, we've been there.
Hey, no worries, man. I'm definitely going to get you right. Let's see here. I got it coming up. Let's see. artist. I'm gonna pull it this way. All right, track reflections. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, no problem. And while that's happening, let me shout out the people that are on Instagram right now. Again, Jen Renee Style, thanks for joining. A1 Joe doing major work with the Georgia Spartans. 98.7 Kiss FM in Birmingham. Thank you so much. Newly developed. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Just Me Quita. Hey, thank you. She Makes Moves, who was my exclusive guest earlier tonight. Rich Living Coach, who's been a guest on the show. I've been a guest on his show. Prayers out to you, my brother, for real. Prayers and encouragement going out to you. Real talk.
All right. Blessings. I got the song up. We up.
Let's do it.
Beauty is life. Hear it? Beauty comes in all sizes. Beauty is what makes the world go round. You are beautiful. You exist. The true meaning of beauty. You woke up early this morning to start your day. Because you are the sunshine. Now, it is time for the sun to set. Just let the trumpet play just to relax you. Thank you, Rich Living Coach. You are the beloved sunshine, so lay your head to rest. You've worked your best and even go to sleep, but never forget that you are the sunshine. Yeah.
All right. I tell you what, the main thing I heard is, again, restoration of that self-image, self-worth, all those important themes. And I tell you what, shouts to you and your team for doing that creative piece. Well, now I'm going to pass the rock to you, and you go and go ahead, and I'm ready. I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
The rock. I am David now. Yes. Okay, man. So talk to us about your audiobook. I believe that you have an audiobook that you are sharing with the world. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I have an audiobook series called the Author's Mixtape. And
Okay.
the logic behind it was, if you think about elements of the freestyle culture of hip hop, especially with the hip hop mixtapes, and you think about the improvisational styles of jazz, the whole concept was basically to bring those elements to the audiobook world. So back in August of 2020 was really the first release. And I have to give shouts to my team, Third Level Entertainment, as well as Canis Major Digital. So the whole concept was this. When we started and we record, I do it every 6 months. So every August and every February is when I release. The very first one set the tone because unlike a lot of people, I came in the studio without not writing anything. What happened was Third Level Entertainment, the owner's daughters wrote down 20 random topics. We put them in a hat. I had to pick a topic. I had 5 minutes to go in the booth and outline something based on that topic. And based on if we did a traditional spoken word or the music track, Third Level Entertainment had to come up with a track that would fit. So in a basic 2-hour studio session, the first time I did it, August 2020, had 7 tracks. Everything is like straight from the dome. Then, and that first one's titled Organic Musings from H2O, and we spelled it Too.
Okay.
And there's a little interesting backstory behind it that I'll tell.
I want to know about that.
I'll tell it. So the backstory behind the title From H2O is that the first hour I was in the studio, I was drinking bottled water. And then the second half, let's just say it wasn't bottled water. I'll just leave it there. That's why we did that play on words from H2O. But we had the formula. So then when we came back February of last year, the second volume is Beyond History, Beyond the Holidays. And we played around with the spelling of holidays, and we did 8 tracks instead of 7. Still the same style. We did not pre-write anything. And another thing, we recorded every track in one take. Then the third volume, which came out August of last year, was titled Get the Bag. And that's a 9-track piece. Again, everything was written in studio. And we go into different topics from self-image to social issues to what have you. Now, the reason why I'm focusing on the current issue, volume 4, the collab featuring Chris 10, is we changed it up. So Chris 10, who is, quote, a newcomer to the audio world, but a powerful presence and voice. She did 4 tracks, I did 4 tracks, and then we did a duet. And the interesting thing how we did the duet was she was in the booth. I was set up outside the booth. So even though it sounds like we were both in the booth at the same time, we were in totally different spaces and places. So it taps into elements of a little bit of humor, encouragement, talking about pain, all these life things. So the track that I'm going to do, as we alternate, I'm going to play one of my tracks, which is called Filet of Leftovers. And the backstory behind it, if you look at the album cover, it's a box of leftovers from when Chris 10 and I met for lunch. I took this box of leftovers and I wrote the idea down. Now, of course, I did eat all the food that was in there, but I kept that box in the fridge, right? She's going to kill me when she hears this, but too bad. So when we came in the booth, we came in to record, I brought that box and gave it to her. She looked at me like I had lost my marbles. But the track that I'm going to play, Filet of Leftovers, it starts off like this kid has lost his mind. But when you really listen to it, you think about those leftovers, and it's what's old is new again. So it's really taking that theme and going a little bit further. So I'm going to hope that we can go ahead and have technology cooperate. And you guys are about to hear Filet of Leftovers, traditional spoken word. So here we go.
Y'all, I am so hungry. But you know what? I don't feel like cooking tonight. So guess what? I'm going to make my way across the flow. And for sure, I'm going to open up that fridge door. And I'm going to go through and rummage and ransack. And oh my goodness, let me get my druthers, y'all. I'm mixing me filet of leftovers, y'all. Haven't you ever had filet of leftovers before? I'm sure you have. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know, just like, when you go to the cookout and you let a steak marinate, or that fish in that beer batter. I'm giving away all the recipes, but you know, or those kebabs, or I don't eat the poke, but you know, for people who do that pickled pig feet and all that type of mess, you know, they're all right, go ahead and do your thing. But you know what I'm talking about? You let it sit and saturate, and then all that flavor comes all just oozing out the pores. So succulent. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And then you let it sit for a day or two, and then just like those sour grapes ferment into something sweet. And oh my goodness, you know, y'all ladies want to talk about Moscato, port, rosé. I would say Alizé, but I know that's kind of, you know, going a little bit overboard. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Just letting that just sit and soak and saturate and marinate and take on a little bit of flavor that you savor. And you know how you just be rationing it for a little bit. So while I'm using these allegories and analogies about food, y'all, to get you in the mood, y'all, I just want you to think a little bit. Think about that artist who has all these moving parts running through their head, all these creative ideas, letting those marinate, letting those soak, letting those saturate. And now all of a sudden, there ain't no changeovers. They're creating a masterpiece from what? Their fillet of leftovers. Oh, wait, I don't think you're getting to me. How about music? You know what I'm talking about. You know, you start writing, stop, start, stop, start, stop, rip up the paper, start, stop, start, stop. And then you just go sit down and be like, I'm through with this mess. But that's just part of the process. And then you sit and think, and then you pick up the pieces, you know, like Booker T and the MGs, pick up the pieces. I think that's who did it, but you can quote me on that. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You pick up the pieces and you put that puzzle together, and it's an even greater picture than what you imagine. That's because what are you doing? You're working with your fillet of leftovers. I don't think you're getting me. So let's think of something else. Here's another one, fashion. I'm going to come up with the next great idea, the next great t-shirt, jeans, hats, masks. And you know how you do your little sketch, you know, sketch right on the piece of paper, start, stop, start, stop. This doesn't look right. This looks lopsided. How many sizes, how many numbers, all this type of thing. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And then you pause for a minute and a day or two, and then it kind of percolates. It's time for the percolator. And you come up with something a little bit greater. That's because you had your druthers. And you made a masterpiece out of your what? Your fillet of leftovers. Now, I know some of y'all are probably going to try to kind of flip this and say, well, I can use this analogy. Nah, don't go there. There's grown folks talking. I'm talking about the creative genius that's sitting inside of you. Those things that you started on doing, but you got pivoted and turned around because your homies who can't even put their left in front of their right. You can't do this, you can't do that. Who is you? Or some of these folks, I remember what you used to be. You used to do such and such and this and that and da 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 blah blah blah. Or maybe you just talked yourself out of it. Maybe you did. So you gotta pause, pump your brakes. Regain your peace and release, and come up with that masterpiece. And as you take time to discover some of the greatest works of art that you ever gonna do is just like that plate, your fillet of leftovers.
Wow. It's kind of crazy you say that. It's like food for thought, per se. Wow. I love it, man. And then, you know, after the fillet of leftovers, you're going to catch the itis anyway, so you got to get your So it all works together. It all works together, man. I like that. I really like that, man. And you're so right about how, you know, we run into so many people who try to doubt us and tell us we can't do this. Or I remember you used to be like that. You're that same guy or that same girl. And that's not the truth. You know, it's not always the truth. What you're cooking up in your mind is what is meant to be used, regardless of what anybody else is saying. So I really love that motivational speech, that motivational audio book of Filet of Vegetables, man.
Hey, appreciate it, and everything. And thank you, thank you. And one last thing before we flip it again is it's funny because the day we recorded that we were in the studio, was the same day as Trayvon Martin's birthday. And the track I did before it, if people really listen and pay attention, you can tell where I wasn't feeling it and I was probably getting ready to cry. And I had to pivot real quick to get myself together. So Filet of Leftovers was actually the track right after that. And it got, especially when I saw you laughing or whatever, like you were laughing at the same points where everybody else was in the studio. Like, how does this kid come up with stuff? So that's the first track. But now we're going to switch it back because we definitely want to hear another example of trap reflection. So tonight, y'all, you're getting the extended version, but hopefully you guys are getting, a good laugh, a good smile, motivation, encouragement, self-image, self-worth, all that. This is what we was finna to do. And that's what we're going to continue to do. So, Chris, how many tracks make up trap music, number one? And then second, introduce or lead the next track that we're going to hear.
Okay, yes. So there are, hold on one second, I gotta, all right, so there are 5 legitimate tracks on Trap Reflections Volume 1, right? And the reason why I decided to just do 5 is because I wanted to capture your attention in the shortest time and the shortest way possible. It doesn't take the all day to meditate and to be able to relax, reflect, and learn. So I wanted to be able to focus on that in the best way possible and narrow that down into 5 perfect tracks, which I consider to be perfect because anything that you create, in my opinion, is perfect. As long as you are creative and you're able to put things together, in my opinion, that is the true art of creativity. And this one right here is titled "The World Is Yours." And let me see if I can find it because Google Drive want to act like it got amnesia.
Technology doing what it do. Yes, sir.
Technology's doing what it do, man, on the regular, man. But either way, I'm definitely going to get this pulled up for us. Let me see. Go to my drive, and it is in here. The world is yours.
And while you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, as you can tell, like I got that from Scarface. The world is yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's true. To a certain extent, the world is yours. If you really think about it, we were all placed on this earth for a reason. So everybody has a piece of this earth. Well, here it is.
We live in such difficult times these days, and for some of us, it is hard to remain faithful. Let's work our way to love and peace. Come into a comfortable sitting position of your choice and gently close your eyes.
Everybody close their eyes.
Imagine something difficult that you are going through currently. Recognize your desire to push away the difficulty, to reach towards something that will soothe the difficulty in the moment. Now turn toward it. Breathe deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth a few times. relax. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Now, invite into your awareness a large figure of compassion and strength who envelops you into a blanket of love and security. Imagine this figure is holding you. This figure is telling you, don't forget, kind one. The world is yours. You are strong, stronger than you can even imagine. There is no need to be scared. Feel this wise being enveloping you and speaking kindly to you. It'll be okay. You are lovable. You are enough. You are not alone. We are all. The world. Breathe in peace. Out. Breathe in happiness. Breathe out sadness. Breathe in healing. Breathe out disease. Stay focused on your breathing. Allow the breath to become slower and deeper.
I tell you what, and you know what? In educator talk, you were modeling and demonstrating. I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, I should be taking deep breaths as well. But I like what you did, and it's really dialing things back, slowing down the moving parts, getting recentered, getting refocused, and that's great. I can see like on the yoga end to just like a daily walk, things along those lines. Like that's just awesome. That's just awesome. Yeah. So all right, your turn.
Thank you. And I just wanted to talk on that just real quick, about that, just interacting with the song and everything, or the meditation script. It really makes you feel like you're in a world of yourself. It's not even just so much about me saying it because I created it. It really does feel like that. Like it really feels like you're all by yourself. World is yours, and that's why I just feel like that's one of my favorite tracks off of Track Reflections Volume 1. But yeah, man, go ahead and feed us the dessert. You already gave us the fillet of leftovers.
Okay, so Filet of Leftovers is one of the tracks that I did, and I've got to pivot to my co-author Chris Ten, and I'll tell you the backstory behind. This is my favorite track that she did. So the backstory is she had never recorded before, but some people have a gift and have a presence, and this is a true story. So after I did my tracks first, she did the exact same thing. She just had an idea and just went straight from the dome. And she steps into the booth, starts doing her first track. And all I remember is the engineer just moved his chair back and just sat there and watched. I looked at my team from Third Level Entertainment. We sat there. I'm like, we need to go in the lobby. And this woman has a gift, has a presence. So to kind of give the backstory behind this track, this is actually a track, honestly, when I do my morning walk, this is one of the tracks that I bump.
Okay.
And thematically, it will remind you thematically of Outkast and Goody Mob's classic Get Up, Get Out, and Get Something. And there's one point, it's not just what she says, but the way she says it. It's like, if you don't get off your behind and get motivated and tap into your creative gifts and talents, like, what are you waiting for? So this is a track, and actually I use it like for my full broadcast show whenever I do my commercial breaks and I touch base on the audiobook. This is actually the track that I use, like, real talk. So I'm going to hope that we can pivot to this one. And once we do, it's gonna, what Filet Leftovers did on the comedic end, and then once you were kind of like, this kid's silly, it's like, wait a minute, there's some serious stuff to it. This one, once we get to it, is gonna tap in, so it should be running.
Rise and shine. Time to get on the grind. What's on your mind? Is it how the time rewinds when you are flowing in your purpose, but it's worth it? All right, now snap out of it. Get up, get up, get up, get up, make it happen. You relaxing and time is passing you by. Time flies. Have you ever seen your idea floating across the TV screen only to realize it wasn't you? I mean, it was your idea, but you sat on it because you thought you weren't clear about how this was gonna come to pass. I mean, did that feeling last, or did you sit on your genius? And I mean this when I say this. Everything that comes to mind has a place in time, in your life, in your grind. When you shine, keep in mind that everything started with an idea. Am I making this clear? You can do anything that you put your mind to, and if I may get a little spiritual with you, it's all things through Christ. If I might take you on this journey, I walked across this empty canvas, clear of opportunity, clear of a moment, clear of a path that only I could create. I could designate who was gonna drive. I could designate how high I was gonna fly. I could designate where I was going next, and there was no need to flex because it was just simply who I am. I am who I am. And so we grace the canvas with a stroke of black. No turning back, we stroke the canvas with a stroke of red. And in my head, in my bed, these thoughts begin to turn into realities. And no formalities, it was just freedom in me. I flowed. Now you know.
Okay, and just to let you know, like I said, all the additions we've done to the author's mixtape, all freestyle. So she didn't pre-write this. She was spitting as soon as she walked in the booth.
Wow, and you know, that's the beauty of it. You know, some things aren't meant to be written down. Some things are meant to be organic and natural. And it really sounds, when the main thing I got from it, I kept thinking of Mo Better Blues.
I tell you what, and when we do the next volume, we're going to keep the same spirit, just straight from the dome, and we touch base on a little bit of everything. But you can tell why, outside of our duet, that is my favorite track. I'm not ashamed to say it. That is my favorite track, and hopefully, like I saw you bobbing your head in agreement, like, yes, it's speaking to me. That's the whole point of what we're both doing. And what I want to say to everybody is, number one, this ain't no competition. We all have a big enough seat at the table that we all can eat. And Trap Reflections will reach people that I might not be able to reach through the Author's Mixtape, but I might be able to reach people through the Author's Mixtape that might not be reached through Trap Reflections. So we are tapping into our creative talents that we really have. And I'll just say this, even through the lens of our fraternal organizations, you can't do things the same way, but you can try to get to that same destination. And if you're casting a net and I'm casting a net, think about how many people we can really impact and inspire and motivate and encourage and equip and empower. So hopefully everybody who's watched, everyone who shares, which you should, everyone who downloads Trap Reflections, the Author's Mixtape, these are the takeaways that we ultimately want you all to have tonight. So as we get ready to wrap up, Chris, remind people the name of your album / audiobook, the platforms where they can get it, and the best ways people can stay connected with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, once again, I am the voice of the South. You can download Trap Reflections Volume 1 on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, any of your major streaming platforms like Tidal. You can find Trap Reflections Volume 1 under my alter ego name, Q Smitty. And once you see Q Smitty, you'll see Trap Reflections Volume 1. You'll see the waves, and you'll be able to just play it, hit intro. It'll start off with a soothing British lady talking to you, and then you get ready to enter the reflection zone. So make sure you guys go download that. And you can catch me on IG at _BLU_. That is my main major platform that I use. But you can also catch me on Facebook whenever you see me acting old with my family members. Christopher Quintels, that's my Facebook.
I tell you what, thank you so much. And for me, the Author's Mixtape, what you heard tonight was from Volume 4, which released in February. There's 3 other volumes. If you type in either the Author's Mixtape or my name, Andrew Snorton, you can download it from iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, Spotify, SoundCloud, Shazam, Deezer. There's almost 300 platforms that you can get it from. So you can either type in the Author's Mixtape or type in my name, Andrew Snorton, and you can go ahead and download any or all of the volumes. Hopefully all of them, but if not, definitely download the current one, Volume 4. And the best ways to stay connected with me on Instagram, AuthorASnorton, Twitter, AuthorASnorton, on Facebook, add the author page, please. Author, AuthorAndrewSnorton. And you can even shoot me an email, AuthorASnorton@gmail.com. And yeah, those are the main platforms. And yeah, so we got started a little bit later because of technology. But the beauty of starting later is that we did it the way that we intended. So for our IG folks, and we got to shout out, I'm going to scroll through and shout out everyone I see on the IG. Jamel J, the Scorpio, thank you so much for joining. Nora Natish checking in from the DMV, thank you for joining. Colorful Nika, thank you for joining. Jamel, we see you again, thank you. Okay, I'm Jordan, thank you for joining. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Rich Living Coach, again, Pastor Rich, join us from Houston, Texas. Thank you so much. Pure Paradise 92, thanks a lot for being on here. She Makes Moves Enterprises. They were my exclusive guests on my full broadcast show. Thanks for running it back with us tonight. Just Me, Quita. Thank you so much. 98.7, Today's Kiss out of Birmingham, Alabama. I thank y'all big time. Y'all the truth up there. So next time I'm down in Beham, in addition to stopping by Bazaar, the coffee bar, shouts to them. Shouts to the Wine Loft Birmingham, who's helped me big time. Yeah, I'm definitely pulling up and everything. Let's see, newly developed. Thank you so much for being here. A1 Joe, like I said, one of the great semi-pro ballers I know out here with the top team out here, the Georgia Spartans. Thanks for joining. Chen Renee Style, thank you so much for joining. And last but not least, you know, my bro right here, Q Blue, thank you so much for being out here. So on Instagram Live, Instagram stories or whatever, please share this and what have you. If this is your first time connecting with either of us, please do not let it be your last. On Facebook, since we got it streaming, we'll go ahead. It's public on my author page. Please click share. And eventually, when I do what I need to with the video, it'll be on my YouTube, AuthorASnorton. So again, the Fast 15 was almost about 45 minutes to an hour, but we wanted to pack in something special for everybody tonight. And like we said from the jump, if there's anyone out there that is struggling with something, we hope what you heard tonight helps you start to pivot and get the positive lift that you need. And for those of you that are already feeling good, you know, hey, continue those vibes. Chris, I'm going to have you close this out. Are there any other words of wisdom, insight that you'd like to share with people?
Oh, yeah, man. Once again, I definitely want to thank you, Mr. Snorton, for allowing me to be able to get on your platform and be able to share Trap Reflections Volume 1 and share my story and be able to share everything that I'm doing right now, because I just feel like, being that we are human beings, we are here to create. And if I can inspire anybody to create and be who they want to be in this world, then I've done my job. I feel like it's so important for us to uplift each other. And this platform right here is such a positive platform where we're sharing one another's, you know, projects. You're sharing your mixtape. I'm sharing my meditation album. And we're giving off that same positive energy and that same quantum alignment that is meant to be. And that's what this is all about. So, you know, everybody out there, man, you know, you're not alone. And I just want you guys, no matter what you're going through, no matter whether it's something good, something bad, always think about how much better you can be.
I tell you what, on that note, we're going to keep it positive. Hopefully we've planted some seeds for folks. And again, for folks who needed the encouragement, needed the lift, hopefully this provided you all that, whether it's a big step or a little crawl or whatever, that, hey, slow or swift movement is movement. So, you know, we're going to have to chop it up again sometime in the not too distant future and everything. Hey, we're going to make it happen. So again, to all the peeps, you know, in Chris's home spot in Birmingham, continued well wishes and blessings out here in the A.
Hey, shout out to the A, man. That's my second home.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is we're just gonna continue to make it happen one day at a time, one way at a time. So please stay connected with us. And before we really close out for real, shouts again to 98.7 Kiss FM. Y'all came through. So shouts, nothing but respect out here big time.
Love, man. Keep rocking with us, man. We're gonna keep rocking with y'all. We're gonna keep showing you love, keep showing you support, man. Whenever you come to Birmingham, just hit me up, let me know, man. When I'm in Atlanta, I'll hit you up, let you know. Networking, man. I don't want this to be the end of everything.
Hey, look at here. Hey, we're just gonna say this was long overdue, and we're just gonna leave it there. So, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, be safe out there tonight. Continued well wishes. Take these vibes with you. Sleep peacefully tonight. and then get off to a good start tomorrow and everything, and make it happen. And be safe this holiday weekend. Real talk. Please be safe. Get out and about safely, but again, please be safe out here. We hope you enjoyed tonight's special edition of the Fast 15. Make sure to stay connected with both authors, and remember, the Fast 15 is our weekly live chat series that takes place Wednesdays, typically at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take good care and look forward to seeing you soon.